purport by Srimad Bhagavatam. Brihaspati is the priest of the heavenly planets. Vedic knowledge was received in logical order by the great sages through Brihaspati for the benefit of human society, not only on this planet, but throughout the universes. In other words, Vedic knowledge is considered one of the necessities for human society. If human society remains satisfied simply by taking grains from the planet Earth, as well as other necessities for maintaining the body, society will not be sufficiently prosperous. Humanity must have food for the mind and air, as well as for the purpose of vibration. As far as transcendental vibrations are concerned, the essence of all Vedic knowledge is the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In Kali Yuga, if this Vedic Maha Mantra is chanted regularly and heard regularly by the devotional process of Shravan Kirtana, Bhagavatam 7:523, it will purify all societies, and thus humanity will be happy, both materially and spiritually. Namo Vishnu Krishna Krishna today, Srimad Bhagavatam Swami Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gaura Jai, Nirvishesha Shuddhani Vastajani Shatani, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivastava Gaura Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Vajkam is Jagri Prasadu Yevacha. Pritana Bhavadevyo Vaishnavedyo Namo. Rishayo Dudahote, Indiveshvara Santana, Vatsa Brihaspati Gurutva, Payaschandovaya Chuchi. All the great sages transformed Brihaspati into a calf, and making the senses into a pot, they milled all kinds of Vedic knowledge to purify words, mind, and hearing. Yes, so as was presented by Mother Earth, in order to really address the whole question of how can at least worthy people, how can they get whatever benefits are available from her, from Mother Earth, from the Earth planet. So she's described here a system that you need a calf, then you need a pot. Well, first of all, you've got the planet, that's the thing, first of all. But then you need a calf because, to stimulate the cow, or Mother Earth in this case. You need a calf, then you need a pot to keep the milk, and then you need a milkman. So there are four things really. First you need the earth, but that's sort of constant in all cases. But then you need a calf, a pot, and a milkman, someone to milk the cow or Mother Earth. And because the cow or Mother Earth, the cow is always very affectionate towards her calf, then milk will come. Milk will definitely come if the arrangement is made nicely like that. And so then in the first arrangement, then there are many arrangements or a number of arrangements with, of course, the earth planet, Bhumi, as the cow, but then different people as calves, different things which were milked, different types of milk you could say, or things which came on that milk. Yes, and the vessel for keeping that was the cupped hands of Srimad. That is, we must have talked about yesterday. But today is, of course, the earth, Mother Earth is there. She's the constant person present as the cow, or the planet Earth, from whom or from which all different desirable and useful and so on types of things, different types of milk, can be taken, so she's there. But now in this verse, second one, addressing the arrangement of who's going to be the calf, what will be the sense, what will be the plot, and what will be the milk. So here the Brihaspati will be the calf to attract the mind of the cow, Mother Earth, to give her milk. And the pot for capturing and keeping all the milk, whatever the milk may be, that's going to be the senses. And the milk is all kinds of Vedic knowledge, which that Vedic knowledge is very special and very wonderful, in that it purifies the words, the mind, and hearing. Yes, so that's the arrangement, and it will go on. Tomorrow there'll be a different calf, and so on and so forth. There's going to be quite a number of them as the discussion goes on further. But in this case here, Brihaspati is, well, the sages are those who are going to, are the milkmen, or milking persons. The calf that may transform Brihaspati into a calf. Anyway, very interesting. The pot, the container in which the milk should be kept, is the senses, and the milk is the state of knowledge, which is very nice and it's very interesting. It sort of struck me a little bit as I was reading yesterday through this verse of purport, that, what does Prabhupada say? That society will not be sufficiently prosperous unless humanity has food for the mind and ear, but also for the purpose of vibration, like mantras. Different things must be there. I mean, different sorts of sound vibrations or different types of knowledge must be there for different purposes for humanity, but ultimately, transcendental sound vibration must be there as a sort of a type of milk. And that transcendental vibration, of course, is particularly, or the essence of it all, the best of it all, is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But then there's going to be other sound vibrations also. Right. other types of satisfying or beneficial in different ways, some vibrations. So that anyway, Brihaspati, he is going to be the calf, special personality who can stimulate the cow, Mother Earth, to give. The milk will give different things, of course, which she is able to give and which she wants to give and which are necessary and important things to be given for humanity. So Brihaspati is very special personalities, the priests of the heavenly planets. And the great sages, Prabhupada makes the point, that the great sages received Vedic knowledge in logical order, not some sort of haphazard or just, in any one way, sort of arrangement of different types of knowledge without there being so much in terms of like systematic presentation from one to the next, and then to the next, and culminating ultimately in transcendence. So the great sages receive Vedic knowledge in such a very nice way, and very suitable, very appropriate and proper way, through Brihaspati. Because Brihaspati is great personality, ultimately, you can say a great transcendental personality. He's not just a ritualistic priest, but even though he may perform or be involved in ritualistic activities sometimes, but it's all for, or generally for higher purpose or part of the Vedic system, and culminating in transcendence. Brihaspati is qualified, he's able to do like that. And therefore we see it's in Bhagavad Gita. It is in chapter 10. And if I'm not mistaken, it's verse 24, yes. Lord Krishna says, Viti Parta Brihaspati. Yes. That of priests of Arjuna, only to be the chief, Brihaspati. So he's a very great person, ultimately a transcendental person, although he's dealing in different types of priestly activities for different immediate purposes. But ultimately he's a great personality, a great transcendental personality, when we really get into it. Not just like sort of, well, he's the chief priest of the demigods, but compared to the chief priest of the demons, well, he is just really materialistic, essentially materialistic. Yeah, but Brihaspati, he's great transcendental personality. Ultimately, and we see that there's a very interesting passage in another Vrindavan Chandra, in the narration there about the Govardhan Leela. And it may be, I can't remember if it's in Vrindavan Chandra also, but it's definitely in another Vrindavan Chandra, that Indra, having been through the week of sending storms and trying to destroy Vrindavan, trying to kill every living entity, even Krishna himself, and the cows, and everyone else. Just total annihilation of the Vrindavan area, thinking that just see these, particularly of course the people, just see these nonsense people. They have traditionally done the Indra Puja every year, from which you would get so much. Because don't forget that all those foodstuffs offered, at least in the initial offering, to Govardhan, the vast offering, just truly vast. They say from Govardhan town through the village of Aniwar and down to Govinda Kund, that if you've, I'm sure that if you've done Govardhan before, you would know that's quite a distance. It's about 5 kilometers or something like that. And coming out from the hill, 1 kilometer means 5 square kilometers of foodstuffs. And not just any ordinary foodstuffs, but just really, really of the highest quality and just extremely nice. That was all going to be for Indra. That was the usual program. So what an experience for Indra, getting all those so many varieties of excellently prepared foodstuffs. There's suddenly nothing. Suddenly it's just going to be offered to the hill, or ultimately to Krishna. Anyway, we all know the story extremely well. How Indra became enraged, infuriated. And there's one verse there, amongst a couple of few chapters, describing the pastime, where Indra criticizes Krishna, that how can these people think they should do what Krishna says, because he's just, even we would say, so many negative things he says about Krishna. So what sort of people would listen to this boy, with what Indra took to be his foolish, Krishna's foolish ideas? But anyway, so then he said, the storm for 1 week, long story, wait for Govardhan Puja. I'm sure it'll be there again. But yes, so he said this massive, fantastic storm. Essentially, the storm, or maybe even bigger than the storm, of universal devastation, but certainly no less. And 7 days and 7 nights, 24 hours a day, the storm was just coming, raining and lightning and hail and wind and everything like that. Just massive, massive amounts. And Indra was thinking that he's doing the right thing. He's going to teach these people a lesson. Don't disrespect me. But, and even those clouds, in another Vrindavan chapter describes, those clouds, they would come and just rain and just rain to the maximum degree they could, until they had no more water. And then they'd come back, that's it, finished, can't do anything more. But Indra would beat them, beating the clouds, and insist, just take more and just go and just rain and storm again. So the term which is used in the translation is they were vomiting rain. It was truly extreme. And Indra was just pushing it. But then when he finished the storm on the seventh day, at the end of the seventh day, he went to have a look and see how successful was I in the devastation and destruction. And he came and he saw Vrindavan. Well, the storm was over, so everyone had come out from under the hill. Krishna put the hill back, so they came to see what was the situation in Indra. And it looked like normal. Everything was nice and green. And there was no damage, no destroying. It was nothing like Tonga. Whenever that happened a week or two ago. Nothing like that. Everything was completely normal, as before. And the cows were happily mooing, and the bulls also, and the people were going about their different farming and related duties. And none of the buildings were damaged at all. And then Indra had a realization, whoops, mistake. Oh dear, looks like I made a mistake. Probably we've all made mistakes before. Maybe quite a few. And maybe we've made some sort of important mistakes. And then you realize, wow, look at what I did. Krishna help. So he got into that situation. He was just overwhelmed by the sort of the scale, the magnitude of his offensiveness. Completely overwhelmed. And his conclusion was that I am so terrible, I've done such terrible things. There's only one thing I can do to, like what I don't know, not a tone, maybe a tone, but just one thing I can do which would be appropriate, an appropriate response to this just practically unlimitedly horrific action that I've done. I must commit suicide. So the description is he takes his special, heavenly, jewel-handled dagger, means stabbing dagger, and he's about to just drive it into his heart and just give up his life like that. When who should come? Take a guess. Brihaspati. Brihaspati comes. And Brihaspati basically says to him, what do you think you're doing? You're going to commit suicide. Don't waste your time. Don't bother. He says, you're already worse than dead. So just, forget about killing yourself. It's just you're wasting your time. So Indra appeals to Brihaspati, tell me what to do then if I can't kill myself. What should I do? And Brihaspati says, I don't know. What you've done is so bad that I don't know what you can do. So Indra pleads with Brihaspati, and Brihaspati says, well, you committed offenses against Krishna and others, but Krishna is so prominent. And not long ago, Lord Brahma, he also did that, because just very shortly before was the pastime of Brahma stealing the cowherd boys and calves. And he also had that sort of experience of, I didn't realize what an offense I've done. So Brihaspati suggested, why don't you go and ask him? And so Indra goes to Brahma, and he tries to be, as people try to be today, sometimes or oftentimes, when they've done something really that they really should have done, they sort of try and downplay it. And they're like, well, it wasn't so bad, but anyway, they mistake. So he goes like that and he says, I heard you offended Krishna not long ago. And Brahma says, yes, you're right. And Indra says, I also made an offense. Can you tell me what you did? Got any suggestions for me? And Brahma says, yeah, I heard already. But what you did is so much worse than what I did. I didn't try to kill anyone. You're trying to kill Krishna. So Brahma tells him, can't help you. No advice, because what you did is beyond sort of doing something about on the basis of some advice. Anyway, we're sort of going off track, but eventually Indra pleads and begs with him so much that Brahma makes a suggestion. Take the Srimad cow in front of you, so Krishna sees her first before he sees you. That will soften his heart a bit. And then you step out, and then you appeal for forgiveness and you apologize. So he does that. Anyway, yeah, so that was Brihaspati's contribution to that situation. That, don't bother committing suicide, it's just stupid, actually. And then what to do? Well, I don't know. It's beyond, any sort of activity for forgiveness or making up for. So the point is, Brihaspati, he's a very special person. He's a very special person. He created, or not created, but he distributed Vedic knowledge to the great sages. These great sages are very important and great personalities and great transcendental personalities. But Brihaspati, he instructed them in Vedic knowledge, like the whole range of Vedic knowledge. And he did it extremely nicely, in a properly logical way, step by step, not sort of here and there. Because the Vedic, what had happened, of course, before Lord Krishna came and spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, etc., was that by the curse of Gautama, Vedic knowledge had become lost, actually. And then when people tried to get it back, they got it back, but it was all sort of upside down. Some very materialistic thing here, something transcendental over there, but then something more materialistic, something more transcendental. It was all sort of in a state of disarray. But Vyasadeva reordered it. He put it again in logical order. From the beginning point, Karmakandya, step by step, coming to the transcendental point, ultimately, of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Srila Prabhupada makes the point, Vedic knowledge is considered one of the necessities for human society. It really is one of the necessities. If human society does not have Vedic knowledge, then they'll be happy just taking from material nature. Just taking from material nature without considering these Vedic injunctions for organizing human society progressively. And therefore, society, Prabhupada says, will not be sufficiently prosperous. Yeah. Humanity must have food for the mind and ear, but food also for the purpose of vibration, ultimately transcendental vibration. Because the essence of all Vedic knowledge is the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So Prabhupada concludes the purport by saying, if the Mahamantra is chanted regularly and heard regularly through the process of Shravan and Kirtana, then humanity, all societies, all different levels of human society, will be purified, and then they can be happy. Whatever they are, the Sudras, the Vaishyas, the Kshatriyas, and Brahmins, they'll all be very happy, materially and spiritually, and go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Any comments or questions? Yes. Prasanti Devi does it. 1 minute or a few seconds. Where are they? This is on. Yes, please.
Krishna, thank you very much for the lovely class. I was wondering if you could comment on some comments on the wrath of Indra.
The anger of Indra. Yeah. Well, we sort of did, but anyway, the general idea is that because it's like an exemplary situation, and Indra is acting very negatively in a very exemplary way. It's like, you couldn't really get much more negative than that. So, yeah, his anger, it seems that from the statements that we read, like his criticism of Krishna, he's just a talkative little boy, and, quite a few other things negative. It's all showing that anger is just showing how when people become materialistic, and particularly if they're like deeply materialistic, then their lives, their minds, what they say, what they do, everything, just becomes like a total disaster, like an unmitigated disaster. You can't really find anything positive in it, practically. Yes, so, we of course, being conditioned souls and ultimately being living entities, we have a tendency to become angry. But we should not, like Indra was angry, because he felt he was very great. And the very great me, I have been extremely insulted by these little farmers under the instruction of this little boy. So, the thing is, we have a propensity to become angry, but if we become angry just for our own sakes, because we've lost out on something material, that's just incredibly dangerous. And if we really get sucked into it, it'll be destructive, and it can even completely destroy a person. Yeah. How's that sound? So we can be angry, and we will be from time to time. But really we should only be angry for Krishna. And because we condition souls, even if we feel angry for Krishna, we should be very careful to just keep an eye on ourselves, so that our anger for Krishna doesn't become contaminated and end up being, an element or even quite a lot of anger for ourselves. Is that okay? Okay. Any other comments or questions? Just that you know. Well, it's kind of different.
Hare Krishna. I think we might use a much stronger way. He said, who is this impudent boy? What does he think he's something to that?
Well, yeah. There's a verse. It's the first verse in a particular chapter of the 10th canto. I don't know if I can just find it just offhand. But let me see. It's furious. Yeah, I don't know exactly where it is. Yeah.
I was thinking of the class that the sixth canto way of fairness, Brihaspati. We did not acknowledge the presence of Brihaspati in the assembly, while all the others of the basics leaders stood up.
Oh, yes, that's right.
They had a percussion that they lost against the demons.
Right.
Lost that.
Right. This is the verse. In that case, Indra, understanding, wanting to correct, Brihaspati wanting to correct Indra, but also the other demigods, because they went along with Indra. So what he does, Indra gets the idea, I've committed an offense. Wow, that's terrible. So he wants to go and apologize, but Brihaspati disappears because he feels that it would be too cheap to just come, I'm sorry, and then, okay, I forgive you. But he feels that the realization of the offensiveness has to go deeper. So therefore he makes himself inaccessible for a while to be apologized to. But I found the verse that Indra speaks, the classic one. It's 10:25, verse 5. Vachala Vanshastanta Agyam Pandita Vanina Krishna Varjam Upashritya Gopane Chakur Apriya. These coward men have acted inimitably toward me by taking shelter of this ordinary human being, Krishna, who thinks himself very wise, but who is simply a foolish, arrogant, over-talkative child. It's amazing. And Prabhupada in the purport, Sridhar Swami's commentary on this verse is referred to. He says that Vachala, which means like over-talkative, he just talks and talks. Vachala actually means, because of the influence of Goddess Saraswati, Indra, who thinks he's criticizing Krishna, is actually glorifying Krishna. Vachala means one who can speak according to Vedic authority. Balisha means like a child, means free from pretension, just like a child. Stabda, literally, stabda means standing up. Means he bows down to no one, because there's no one that he needs to offer respect or homage to. Agya means ignorant, but in this context, Agya means there's nothing more for him to know because he's omniscient. And Pandita Manina, Indra, the way Indra thinks he's expressing himself means Manina, in his mind, he thinks he's a Pandit, Krishna. But actually, it means he's highly honored by the nose of the absolute truth. Because Manina can also mean jewel. He's like a jewel amongst the Pandits. And Krishna means he's Krishna, he's the absolute truth, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Martya, which means human, but still, even though he's the absolute truth, he appears as if a devotee, as if a human, out of affection for his devotee. Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. In regards to frequent inclement weather, how would you say the actual cause is? Is it reaction from material mismanagement such as urban pollution and industrial pollution, or is it in fact the gods?
Well, it's the laws of karma. That's what it is. Because people are doing so many sinful activities, then, among other things, the weather gets thrown out. And whereas when people were pious, by the arrangement of the Lord, of course, through the demigods, the weather patterns are like organized and productive, and you never get you never get severe drought, and you never get severe over rainfall. Everything's very nice. So it's because the people in general are sinful. That's the reason. And of course, sinful beings, they're disobeying the laws of the Lord. So that's ultimately Krishna, God, is behind it. Yeah, in the sense that he has made the laws, but then the demigods carry out the laws. They're like the executive, they apply all the laws. So when they see all the sinfulness going on, they apply the laws. That if you're sinful, then among a number of other things, the weather sort of goes haywire. Yeah. Is that okay?
Yes, thanks.
Thank you, Raj.
Hare Krishna. Oh, it's really done with that one.
For the discussion of the residents of the Durban, Krishna could be charged as being inconsistent in his reciprocation of his punishment of other demons as compared to Indra. Because what Indra attempted seems far worse than what all the other demons tried to do when they came to Durban. He basically wanted to wipe Durban off the face of the earth. But he got a reaction, or he got a punishment, so to speak, that external expression, much less. Everyone else got killed. All the demons got killed. So it seems very inconsistent. And in today's world, we are all about equality of treatment, and you may not see the finer nuances behind the situations, backstories, and how, so everyone wants equality. That if this person did that, if another person did a similar thing, they must have the same sentence. But here we see Krishna as applying things in a different way. Of course, we're not really sure what's the reason behind that.
Yeah, well, one thing is that the demons who apologize and really, threw themselves at the lotus feet of the Lord and begged for forgiveness, they were not killed. Like Kali was not killed. He tried, sort of did, kill all the cowboys and the cows. But then he came to his senses. He came to his senses, and he came and threw himself at the lotus feet of Krishna. So he was punished, like he was banished, actually, even though he became a devotee. But still, because of the offense, he wasn't allowed to stay in Vrindavan, but he was allowed to be a devotee and wasn't killed. But others, Agasura, Bakasura, etc., they didn't have any sort of redeeming qualities. Putana had a redeeming quality, although she was killed. But she had a redeeming quality to some degree, is that before trying to kill Krishna, some motherly feeling was there momentarily, just momentarily, and then it was sort of swept away by a very demoniac desire to kill Krishna. So, that would appear to be a factor. I'd have to sort of look at all of them. I think, Brahma stole the cowboys and calves. But then he didn't kill anyone. And he was not really, if we read through carefully, we see he was thinking, it was more like, he couldn't quite understand, is Krishna really, the Krishna? Let me test him. He was kind of testing Krishna, more than thinking, see this stupid little boy, I'll teach him a lesson. And then he realized, and so Krishna said to him and taught him a lesson. And I think that's an important factor, consideration in these situations. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.